Hey, hey, hey. We're back. We're black. We're brown.
Ambition.
I know.
Ambition.
You know, I feel like I'm inspired a little bit by Beyonce or whatever.
Okay. You're going to do a little opera on it.
Exactly like,
the first black woman to have a number one country album on the Hot 200, the Billboard albums, which it's so funny because now it's like number one record, what was it? Casey Musgraves or Justin Timberlake or something like that. It'd be like 47,000 copies sold. Beyonce sold 407,000 copies.
Of course she did.
In the era of streaming,
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, it's incredible. It is so incredible. So not just number one country, but also number one album, period, paragraph.
I mean, it's just... Excellent. Okay, go ahead, Blackbird. Mm-hmm.
It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, the solar eclipses today. Are you going to tap into your inner 8-year-old? And
no, because I don't want to lose my eyesight. I don't have like
You don't have any glasses?
No, I know.
Oh, I could have hooked you up.
I know. So I'm just gonna like watch from I heard like you have to be so careful that if you like look at
don't trump it. There was an eclipse 7 years ago, but the next total eclipse in the US is not going to be for 20 years.
Total eclipse of the heart.
Rio, I'm determined to make it a core memory for him.
Aww.
Oh, hi, buddy. Remy's down. He's fine. I'm determined to make a core memory for him. So I got the glasses, but the school just texted me or sent a message and they're like, yeah, we're not taking on the liability of your children's eyesight. So if you want them to see this eclipse, you better come pick them up at 2 p.m. So
I agree though, because child, it's risky.
I sent him with glasses.
Yeah, but you know what kids do? Many. They're going to take them off and be like, my eyes!
I'm going to have to tape him to his face. I'll be like, I hope I get to enjoy it. I'll be so focused on him, not destroying his baby retinas.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I'm going to go outside. Because what time is it supposed to start?
I think in New York, I don't know about Jersey, because it's very like, it's about your location, because it starts in Texas and then it goes in New York, I think between 3 to 3:30 is the window. Okay. It's only going to be like a 4-minute experience, but like it's all very confusing, or not so confusing, but it's all complicated because like we're only going to have 90% totality.
Okay.
Which means that we're not going to have the full total eclipse. You got to like go to Buffalo. You got to be in the zone of totality for that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm making it happen as you do, and changing my entire life for the children always. I have come to terms with that is what the next year or two is going to be like. I instead of just fighting against it, because it happens so often because I'm the stay-at-home mom, or I'm the work-from-home parent, I effectively am also a stay-at-home mom in the sense that like being available for pickups or sick days and, all that, it really falls on me. It makes it so much more difficult to have a business at the same time. But instead of kind of resenting it, I'm sort of like, at least for today, because some days I'll be so annoyed. But today I'm just going to be like, look, you can stand to not do a little bit of work like for the next 6 months to a year. Only thing I got to do is the podcast and my book.
Okay.
And if I just focus on those two things, then I will stop, I think, like resenting and pushing so much. Because the problem is that I really love it. It's a problem.
It's not a problem.
I freaking love sitting down and doing a craft or a Lego for like 3 hours. And I know that makes me, I don't know what it makes me.
No, it makes you like blessed to be able to like love to do, to be able to do a thing that you love. You shouldn't have to apologize for that.
And I mean, I also love to do stuff for myself, but it's like, I do feel very fortunate that I have a choice. And because of that, I talk myself into choosing the kids. Like, look at this freaking office I used to have. You ain't got to look too far to see.
I'm not going to lie. I love it though. This is kind of my favorite iteration.
Oh, thanks. We'll see where it goes next. But anyway, what's happening in your world? You about to go to Atlanta?
I am ATL Shorty. I can't say, but I'm going to be doing something with a famous artist
Mm.
I know. Maybe when it's done, I'll be able to say.
Okay. Famous in Atlanta. Is it T.I.?
No, but I'm not
Is
going to say.
it Andre 3000?
I don't think they're Atlanta based.
Oh.
They might be, but I don't. I never thought about that. Are they Atlanta based? I don't know.
Are they a Black
Anyway,
celebrity?
we're surprising some students. Obviously, it's financial education based. We're surprising some students,
Okay.
and then this artist is going to come and surprise them. So I'm getting, get to do something fun.
That's so cool.
Yes, but honestly, so last week I got to meet Donald Miller. Have you ever heard of Donald Miller of Story
Oh,
Brand?
the way my heart dropped. Donald.
Girl. I'm like, who? No, girl, please.
Who's Donald Miller? And why
so Donald Miller wrote this like transformative like business book called Story Brand that really helped people to rethink. It sold millions of copies to help people to rethink the way they market their business and just like their business in general. Like, what is the story behind your brand, basically?
Is this the guy that like you have loved forever and like you wrote something in for his book or like?
No, that was Launch. That was what is his name? Jeff Walker of Launch.
Oh, okay.
But same in that same kind of vein. So I met both of them for the first time when I went to the Author for Author conference last August. If you remember, I got invited because it was like kind of like this conference to get authors who sold, a ton of books to connect on books, but also the business behind books, so it was really great. And so it was at Donald Miller's house. He's got this 15-acre estate in Nashville, Tennessee, really well appointed. He has 3 compounds on it. His home, kind of like this, meeting space that looks like a home, but it's really beautiful. And then also too, a guest house. So it's just fancy on fancy on fancy. So when I was at Author for Authors, I won, we played some raffle and I won a prize. And one of the prizes that I won was to go to Donald Miller's house with my team for a coaching session because he is also really well, like world renowned as like this, like, business coach. Like he's coached with some of the biggest names in business. And so my team and I prepared ahead of time to kind of share all things happening with Budget Needs to Literature Academy, where we're kind of having trouble. So I brought my finance person, I brought the manager of the academy, I brought my project manager, I brought my content person and myself. And so we all created this presentation where we presented to him the good, the bad, the ugly of all things happening. And he gave us some really amazing feedback. I mean, you know me, I've been talking a lot to all of my kind of like mentors and things because last year was such a hard year and it's clear that there's a shift happening in this space. And I wanted to get ahead of that shift and he confirmed some of those shifts. So the number one thing what I really loved is that when we were done presenting, he said, first, before I start, I want to commend you for the amazing business that you built. And I was like, what? He said, I can tell by the way you guys are talking and sharing, we did like 45 minutes of presentations, that I don't think you fully understand what you've built here and how amazing it is that you've built something with integrity that helps people, that found the market, that has made nearly $50 million. Tiffany, and you've been in business for 15 years. Impossible on impossible on impossible, but you've done it. I just want you to like absorb that. So I was like, okay. Cause you're like, and then this is wrong and this is wrong. And he was like, I could tell that you don't fully like, no, we're going to let that soak in, And so that was just amazing. And then he was like, and second, I want you to know there's a shift happening in this industry, that what you're seeing is the shift, not because you've done anything wrong. You know what I mean? There is a shift away from, I think people are maxed out on a lot of digital, courses and things. If not done well, they're kind of maxed out. He's like, there's a shift. He's like, I've consulted with Masterclass. There's a shift. I've consulted with all these other big online kind of courses and schools. And he's like, there's just a shift happening. And so he just gave us some suggestions about what we can do to circumvent the shift, which really to kind of build a whole different business model. And he gave me this is really good for like our business people listening. He gave me this really good piece of advice or kind of like, insight. He said, even as someone who's been as successful as him, he said he felt overwhelmed. Like every few years, he felt like he had to rebuild his business. And he's like, what am I doing wrong? And then he went to Disney World with his daughter. He took her for the first time. And he said that when he had been to Disney World as a kid and he noticed, he's like, oh my gosh, Guardians of the Galaxy, that wasn't there. Oh my gosh, Harry Potter, that wasn't there. Oh, then he said it clicked to him that Disney is constantly iterating. They're taking down old rides and putting up new rides. If Disney has to shift constantly, what am I talking about? That he said it was an aha moment of that's just how it goes. You're not doing anything wrong.
Mindset shift.
Yes. That you're not doing anything wrong if the business model that you're working on is not working anymore. Mm-hmm. That's just how it goes. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just a shift. If Disney has to put in new rides, then of course you're going to have to shift your business model.
Well, shit. Have you been to a Dunkin' lately?
Girl, even Dunkin' DD, right? They don't even call themselves Dunkin' Donuts.
No, it's not Dunkin' Donuts. It's just Dunkin' now.
Girl.
But when I think about the incredible transformation of Dunkin', that was like the grimiest place. You get a black cup of coffee, you feel like construction workers.
Yes.
Maybe like an errant police officer at the end of their night shift. And now it's like toe to toe against Starbucks,
Yes.
So I think that's amazing and such an important. It reminds me of how I talk to people about their careers too, because like you can't index funds are amazing, right? Passive investment, you set it and forget it. But your career, a business, kids, it's not like that. And I think when you expect a little bit of that up and down, then people are so hard on themselves when like, oh, this job is like, it was great for 2 years, but now it's like not a good fit anymore. I got a new boss. I need to find a new job, but like, when am I ever going to find the job? Like the thing. And I'm like, well, I mean, instead of fighting against the change and like the need to pivot, just expect it and plan for it. And I think a lot of us in our careers are just, even though I think a lot of us understand we're not like the 30-year, retirement plan with the pension employee anymore. That doesn't exist. But at the same time, we still crave that like stability that we're going to be here for. It's going to be great forever to our own detriment, like mentally. I love that. I love that mindset shift and approach. And I love that he gave you the recognition that you damn well deserve at the jump, Yeah, that's awesome. What an incredible experience and what an incredible gift to win. I wonder what that would cost. Girl. If someone wanted. How much time do you get to spend with him?
It was 4 hours.
Wow. Okay.
A full half day. And like I said, he had this beautiful, then he took us on a tour of the guest house. He's like, you guys can stay here anytime. It was incredible. It's in Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it was just so eye-opening. There were some ideas he had for us to have some more high ticket items, like Budgetnista has been known for like our low ticket items, which we want to continue, which he said, continue these. He said, but one of our struggles is that I didn't know how to break into our higher ticket item space. What do people need in that space? He gave some really good ideas about that, because the problem right now with Budgetnista is because I've been doing this for so long, I'm getting people that come to me and say, Tiffany, I used to be a dream catcher. Thank you so much. And I'm like, what? Because what happens is that we really cater to the, like, you come in, you're really struggling, or maybe you're really young. Then you need like kind of like this hand holding. And then you're like, my budget's together. My debt is getting down. I'm good. Yay. And then you leave because we don't have anything else for you. And so like that was one of the things too, that was a great aha moment. And he said, Tiffany, you've done such a good job. Then you graduate people and then you have no college for them to go to. And I was just like, okay. And so he really that was he helped us to kind of identify like some like next level. Cause I always felt like adverse to having like higher ticket items. And he's like, yeah, you don't need to do a higher ticket item to the fresh out of college student, but the woman that you've helped get to a certain level is looking for more.
Well, just and she knows it in my Patreon and how that blew up. You know what I mean? Imagine. So, and in my Mandi Moneymakers group, a couple of the girls, the makers, were talking about, hey, anybody going to do the Tiffany and Terry investing challenge? Like they really crave that.
Yes. And I wasn't offering it to them because of a place of, I don't want to charge money because everybody is not struggling financially. Some people don't mind paying for the next level of access. And so that's what I'm realizing, that it doesn't make me quote unquote I knew that, but in my heart, it made me feel like a bad person almost for charging more for more service, more access. So he helped to break some of that. So honestly, it was amazing. I just had a really good talk with the team today. I guess the hard part is that as you shift business, that everybody might not be able to go. And I think that's the part.
You mean on the team side, or probably both, right? Customer base and team.
Yeah, I think the customers, especially if we have like our tiered system where it's like, oh, you come in and you're struggling, we help you. Then it's like, okay, you're not struggling financially, you just need advice and we help you. Okay, now you want to make more money, then we help you. Okay, now you want to connect with other people who created wealth and we help you. So I feel like we're actually not leaving so much of those people behind. But like, you work with people for a long time. And it's like, like it's almost like having this like Mexican restaurant and the cook is amazing. Everyone is amazing. And then you shift it to selling sushi and you're like, we need a sushi like chef.
Yeah.
And it's
Dunkin'
like,
needs people who know how to make an espresso.
yeah. And so then it's like, but then you feel really bad because you're like, what do you do?
Well,
and so
it's up to them
is
to also grow and pivot, or they need to also be anticipating the changes in your industry so that they can make themselves more valuable to you. I think this is an incredible lesson for anyone. Like, if you don't want to get replaced by the next new thing, you got to be the next new thing.
Yeah, it's true. Because I see the folks that have done that, have pivoted along the way. I'm like, oh, look at her. Okay. And including myself.
Same, me too.
And so, but it's like, 'cause you're right that I guess, and I'm trying to, I have to tell myself, Tiffany, you don't have to stop feeling bad about not being able to bring everyone. It still doesn't mean you're going to bring everyone. But I think I'm waiting.
It's your responsibility, but you can feel bad about it.
Yes. And I think that's the part that I guess I'm waiting to not feel bad about it. And I'm just like, you're gonna, that's just how it goes. Yeah. It's just, So that's the hard part about running a business is when you're just like, wait, everybody can't go. Cause I was the everybody could go person. I mean, I'm much better.
A little bitty cutthroat.
I'm not cutthroat.
And you had this huge shift after Superman's passing where you did make the layoffs, you made the huge shift. But that was more of like it was so triggered by this grief period, right? And this recentering of your desires and it's just very different to like a cold business case, which I think is maybe like what you're struggling with.
Yes. Because it's one thing people were like,
altering event.
Yes. It's like, of course, your husband passed away. You can't do as much. Tiffany, of course, you give this grace and space, but to say the number said, it's like, like that's the part that I'm struggling with because it wouldn't be because of grief or whatever. It's really solely, this is a business decision. And I've never made that kind of like cut before from just a straight business space. So
this is growth, baby. It's growth.
The Kelly hands. Growth.
I'm excited for Natasha Rothwell. I slid into her DMs the other day, Natasha Rothwell, just to tell her how incredible she is, how much she means to me. I didn't even check if she read it, but I'm very much in like the Bubba.
Baby's in the house today.
Yeah, the baby's in the house.
Hey, cutie.
A little worse for wear, but he's here. Hey, Remy. Say hi, BA fam.
Hi. I know he can't hear me, but he is too cute.
He'll probably love your face, though. Oh, man. Hey, last week, I was so annoyed at myself because I left myself notes of what to talk about. I did not get a chance to talk about Lizzo.
Okay.
Can we talk about Lizzo real quick?
Yes.
Because something new happened since. So if y'all have been off the internets, Lizzo put up this like kind of cryptic, very like old school Facebook, you know what I mean? Like status update where everyone's like, come on, just tell us what's going on. But at the end of it, she was like, I quit. It's too hard. And people, of course, thought she was like, oh, I'm quitting music, blah, blah, blah. Yes. And then she came back and said, actually, no, I'm not quitting music. I'm just quitting I'm quitting caring about what people think about me, essentially. And I am like, I'm worried about Lizzo because then she posted like this old Tumblr. She posted on her old Tumblr like this essay about her childhood and about and it's written like in the third person. So she's speaking about herself in the third person. Like baby Melissa was constantly had to force her feelings down and not feel anything and not admit how she felt and stay strong for her family and all this. And she posted it and it was extremely vulnerable and raw. But I just wanted to talk about her because I kind of feel like we're seeing a bit of like the Simone Biles moment for her. I mean, when Simone walked away from the Olympics because her head wasn't right and she was endangering herself, and Lizzo's doing it in a public way. But I have feelings about it. I just wanted to know, what are your What are your thoughts on it? Do you even care?
No, I mean, I saw that. And honestly, at first I was like, no, she's quitting music. That's what I thought at first. I did not know about the Tumblr post. I think that being a human being can be quite the ride, and it's hard. And I think that I am still navigating how to human. And that it is, if you can, to grab the joy where you can find it. And if that means kind of like blocking out negativity, then do so, and leaning in to the things that make you smile and give you joy, then do so. Yeah, I mean, Lizzo has been through a lot. I mean, I know, there's all the stuff about her or whatever, but she's been through a lot. And I just hope that like she figures out a way to center and to find peace. I mean, I think we're all trying to figure that out. Lord knows I am.
I just like, it makes me sad because, the whole drama with her is that her former employees are suing her for like harassment and, unfair work environment or something like that. And like, that's true. But also I don't know why, like in the business and the music industry, it seems like she's been like canceled and her peers are not like supporting her anymore. Cause to me, it's like you were saying, I mean, as you're growing as a business or as you're growing as a celebrity and you're creating a business and you're becoming a CEO of your business and you're managing people for the first time, Lizzo's so young. I hate that there's not a margin for error. And I think we all know, especially as a Black woman, like there's so little margin for error. And people like to make fun of Lizzo for her body positivity kind of stance in the beginning. And now they're kind of holding her, they're like judging her against that. Like, oh, but you said you were going to be perfect and you were going to be different and you were always going to be positive, but you failed. And so now like you don't get to do what you did anymore. It breaks my heart. Like Beyonce took her out of her song on the Renaissance tour.
I know.
Like,
I was like,
I'm like, give her some freaking, like some latitude, give her some like room to figure shit out. And it just makes me sad. And I hope that she gets through this because I thought we were doing better, right? Yeah. We're all supposed to be like, don't forget about how we did Britney. Like we're supposed to be better.
Yes.
But
and now, here's the thing that I remember. So when I went to the White House and I met Jean, is it the White House secretary?
Karen
what is
Jean-Pierre?
Her name? Yes. One of the things she said that I thought was so enlightening, and I'd heard this before. Someone asked her, how do you deal with all the negative press, especially by way of like Fox News and stuff? First of all, she joked about it. She's like, they're obsessed with me, right? Like obsessed. So what? She said it like, and she started laughing.
She's not wrong.
Right? And then she said, honestly, my team hates that I do this, but I don't read the good or the bad. She said, because if I read all the good things about me and I believe them, then when I read the bad things about me, I'll believe that too. And that she just said, I just do my job and I love all my parents and my partner, that I don't read the good or the bad. And I think there's something to be said about not giving too much energy to everybody blowing you up and gassing you up. Because if you do that, then you're going to give them a lot of energy when they start to tear you down, which inevitably they will.
And she was very online, During the pandemic, Lizzo was one of my favorite things. She'd be like eating a vegan burrito and you just living her life and being amazing. But and then the connection to that is also Angel Reese? I know it's about basketball. I don't really want. I did not watch the NCAA. Is that what you call it? NCAA?
Yeah, NCAA
championships. But Angel Reese, I did remember because was it last year on this time she did something during a game that was like, and people gave her so much crap for it because she like did something like
you can't see me, the Tony
the white player Caitlin Clark,
did the same thing.
Yeah, but apparently like she's getting a lot of like just beyond that like hate, threats, and I loved. And they lost. I guess they got to the Final Four and they didn't win. But at the press conference, I just loved how her teammates went out of their way to like stand up for her.
Yeah.
And just remind people that like she's a 20-year-old, like 21-year-old woman.
Yeah.
In a very like high pressure sport. And we're again not giving anyone a chance to just be.
And also too, she's not doing anything wrong.
Imperfect.
Literally, it's not even about perfect. Caitlin said, This is a competitive sport. We talk shit. Like, what are we saying? Like, the guys talk shit. Have you heard when they have their little mics on? That's what they do. They be in each other's faces like, yeah, you thought you was going to get that, didn't you? And guess what? Off the court, and Angel said that. She said, off the court, we're all, hey, girl, how you doing? Like, all that exists. That, like, that whole, like, because they're women playing. And honestly, let's be real, because it's a black woman. Because y'all didn't say that. You didn't have that same energy for Caitlyn. Caitlyn talks shit, too. That's okay. Like, sports is about, like, you know, it's this aggressive energy that's part of sports. And then afterwards, it's only if later I see you at the club and now I'm trying to run up in your face. And that's not the case. And it's just like, no, they're on the court. Emotions are high. We're not ladylike on the court. Like, we're talking shit. Like, it's happening. And so, like, I just think that is the, you know, that's the part that's kind of disheartening, is that, like, you know, she's not allowed to play sports the way everybody else is allowed to play sports. It's like, as a black woman, I'm not going to lie. It's like what we talked about last week. If I'm at a restaurant, I'm even more mindful if I'm being too loud, even though the drunk table next to me of white girls can hoot and holler as much as possible, you know? But I know the moment that I'm like, ah, ha, ha, it's like, oh, here comes black people being loud. And I'm just like, it's really annoying and tiring. And so I understand, like, it's respectability politics that are only impressed upon black and brown women in that way. And so, and a shame on Emmanuel Ocho, who is this Nigerian American, like, commentator, and, like, just dragging, I don't know. The thing about Emmanuel Ocho, I'm not going to lie. So one, he has a series, like, conversations, uncomfortable conversations with a black man, which, if I'm going to be honest, I feel a little co-opted. It was a little co-opted. Someone who has Nigerian parents, I don't know that I'm going to do uncomfortable conversations with a black woman, because there's a space where I'm like, my experience is different because of, like, both my parents being born and raised in Nigeria. Let me sit this one out and support a black woman who has this, like, African-American black experience, because that's basically what he's kind of co-opting. So there's already pushback on that.
Is he Nigerian American?
Yes, which I'm just like, let's be real. It's not the same experience. It's okay to sit back and just say, although I am black, there is levels, and I can't speak for a community that I only have part of my foot in, as it relates to, like, you know, so there was a little bit of pushback there where, well, and here's the thing. It doesn't mean that, like, because it's like, as I speak for black people, sir, I don't know if that's appropriate. You know what I mean? So there's that. And then two, the way he came down so hard on Angel Reese, talking about she's the villain. Angel Reese does not identify herself as a villain. If you go to her Insta, she's, like, girly, feminine. This is what the press has called her. And you just reiterating that as a black man. So you claim,
why can't she just, like, why couldn't she be?
He was like, well, he's saying, like, you can't be a villain in the streets and then crying at the press conference. And the thing is, she really wasn't. She wasn't crying about losing the game. She was showing emotion because her team members were giving her love. That's allowed. But, you know, some people like that just like to shake the can, is what I call it, when you don't be noisy.
Got to stay relevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly. So I just want to say, shame on you, sir, as a fellow Nigerian American. You know,
like,
and so
that scammer that you caught, Bob.
Exactly.
From Thailand.
Exactly. But you know what, though? They eating him up in the comments anyway. So, you know, let them continue to chew him out. But yeah, some people just, like, you know, it's like you're wanting to say something. And sometimes it's like there are folks in our community that want to be white aligned, you know, like, I'm a safe black. And sometimes it's giving that. And so I don't know, take it or leave it. Maybe he listens, maybe he doesn't. But I'm like, you know what I mean? That it was giving that it's like, I hate when I see that. It's just like, oh, talk your shit. Like, I'm not here. Like, I saw this really great clip of some of them interviewing an African, what was he? He was a filmmaker. And, like, you know, they were speaking, I don't know if he was Nigerian or Ghanaian, but they were speaking Ghanaian in the language. And he had, like, produced it and went to Cannes, all those other things. And they were asking him, do you think that this is going to alienate, like, the fact that there's a language spoken here that is not English, that it's going to alienate viewers? He said, what viewers? White viewers? He said, I know this is going to sound crazy to you. I do not center white people in my life. I don't. Like, I created this movie or this film for the audience that I belong to. And that I don't have to, like, no one else centers. Did you ever think to yourself, oh, how is that going to affect the black audience? You don't. Because you don't center black people. It's okay for black people not to center all things white. There's nothing wrong with white people. It is okay to create things specifically for your audience intended. And people can either get along or not. People can either figure it out or not. They can read the subtitles like everybody else is forced to when they don't understand English or whatever. And so I just think that like that is the thing that is like people like him. Sometimes I feel like they centered that experience as the experience. It's a experience. Is it a valid experience, a white experience? Absolutely. But not any more valuable than an African, an Asian, a Korean, a Mexican experience. Like all those experiences are valid. And it's not like that is the central experience. I think that is why we have the trouble we have now in this world, that there are some people who really believe that their experience is the experience, not just a experience.
Well, I'm going to shout out just for a second the 9-to-5 girlies out there, because I think that's why you see so much burnout and just frustration, is because to survive, you do have to center your leadership in your company, or, hide some parts of yourself and your own self just to survive. That's the reality in corporate, is like, you can't be your full authentic self as much as they want you to be. Because at the end of the day, like, the people who are in power don't look like you, and they'll only tolerate you and your realness for as long as it doesn't make them uncomfortable. And then when you start making people uncomfortable, which we so often do, when we get comfortable ourselves, then you have the friction and the issues. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I just want to acknowledge that, because I do think now that you and I own our own businesses, we are just a lot more free.
Yes.
To say the things that we say.
It's true. I could go on my rant, because what they're going to do, but don't
right?
Keep it cute.
50 million in 15 years. Okay. She got options. I do want my one last sports shout out, just because it's historic. And the picture of her, so the Dawn Staley, the winner of the, I'm going to sound so ignorant, the winner of the college basketball championship for women.
Undefeated South Carolina. I know that because my special friend is very into sports.
Oh, is our special friend a fan of the Gamecocks? Okay. Is that them? That's the football. Anyway, Coach Dawn Staley became the first Black coach in Division I college basketball history to go undefeated. 38 wins.
Girl.
No losses.
Girl.
And they beat Caitlin Clark, who I know enough to know that is the GOAT. That's like beating Serena Williams.
Yes. She's number one player. Yeah.
Just one player. So I just freaking phenomenal. And it's nice to see a Black woman coaching women of color. Like,
and she herself was a basketball player. She went to the Olympics.
I see this picture of her. She has the most 90s.
Yes. It's getting salt and pepper.
The asymmetric, like, curl under. Oh my God. I love it.
But I don't think people, because this is what I learned from my special friend, now that I got to be into sports now just because he's into sports. So he was like that. What makes this year of like undefeated, like so special is they lost their 5 starters. So starters are basically the best people on your team that start the game. And so 5 of them were gone because they went off to college or whatever, went off to wherever they went off to, graduated, whatever. And so to have basically almost a new team starting, it is a testament to excellence in coaching, to take not even your best players to undefeated status, but to take players, not to say obviously these players are obviously amazing, but like to start from the beginning with with this kind of fresh crop. You know how it is when you play something with someone, there's like this team camaraderie. You can do a no look pass because you understand like, oh, that shoulder shake means this, whatever, to start from that and to get to this. And then at the end,
who's playing her in the biopic? That's what I want to know.
I mean, it just is like
biopic, whichever. There's got to be a movie. There's got to be a movie.
I love this for them. I love this for her. It's just a testament to what good leadership can do. You can outpace so much with excellent leadership, and just congratulations to that team. They work so hard. And, I know they're like, and also too, she is also like now hopefully more and more former players can see themselves potentially as coaches because she's been so successful,
He's fine. He was playing with some shelves and he took a tumble. All right, bye.
Remy took a tumble. Well, while we're gonna do a little before we break for commercial break. Let's do break before commercial break. You mentioned that some of your Mandi money makers are like, "Are you guys gonna do this? Today's the last week to sign up for the investment class, right?" And so. What is it? So I told you guys that this is the year I told myself I'm determined to build my traditional investment fundamentals, meaning like, I mean, I'm in the market a little bit, but I don't be know what I'm doing. And so I told myself one of the ways, whenever I want to do something new, I always look for a coach, a guide. And so I found one for myself in February. Well, I already knew Terry for a while, but I asked her in February and she agreed to coach me. And then she told me she was having something in April, where she was like basically teaching the fundamentals of like investing in the market. And I said, oh, great. What's that got to do with me though? She was like, well, if you know, maybe some of your audience members might want to join this 5-day live masterclass. And I said, sure. And so it is coming up April 15th to the 19th. This is the last week to register because it's live, and it's live from the 15th to the 19th from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Can you commit to 5 days for yourself? Terry is teaching every single day. Day 1, she's teaching you all about the stock market. You might say, I know you don't. Day 2, all about indexes, which is one of the more passive ways to invest. So we're not going to be trading, in a traditional sense. Day 3, she's teaching all about opening up the right brokerage account. Like, where should I actually do this investing? What platform should I use? And not even like specific platforms, but what to look for. Day 4, we're going to buy our first stock, right? I'm excited about that. And so she said the stock range cost will be between about $300 to $500. Even if you don't have the money to buy your first stock, that's okay, because there'll be a simulator available where you could do it paper money online. So you still get to do the practice. And day 5, you get to sell your first stock. Same thing. Simulator if you don't have the money, which is fine. It's $97 for this live class, 5 days. She also has guest speakers. I'm one of the guest speakers. I'm the guest speaker on Thursday. I'm going to talk about how to get your money ready to invest, but also the mindset shift necessary to invest. And I'm just excited. So much so. So Terry, there is a VIP upgraded option, which I think in total is like $294. That means you get the replay of the lives for those people who want the replay. The replay will be available for 6 months. You also get a 6-day instead of 5 days. And I think, yeah, that's what the VIP. So I am so passionate about having a group of people do this with me that I asked Terry, can I add some bonuses to this 5-day live masterclass? And she said, you sure can. So I created bonuses for people who are signing up. And the bonuses are, one, if you sign up for just like general admission, the $97, I'm going to give you an ebook, worth about $50 about learning to earn, because sometimes you need to make more money traditionally so in order to like have money to invest in the market. If you sign up for the VIP admission, which is what I'm doing, obviously, is that you get like, obviously you get all the live classes. You also get, like I said, you get a bonus session, all the replay. But for me, the component that I'm giving away is I'm going to give you a learn to earn class. I'm going to give you a learn to earn ebook. I'm going to give you this quick start guide that I created, about, investing in the stock market, that Terry helped me to create. I also am going to give you 1 month free to my Literature Academy. And I'm creating a pop-up Facebook group for the 6 days for the VIP people, where I'm going to be in there. I'm actually flying to South Carolina where Terry is taping, since I have to do like my own like interview with her, but I'm flying there and I plan to get us some behind the scenes video with Terry. And so that's a total value of about additionally $1,000, because the Learn to Earn class is $350. The ebook is $50. The other ebook is $50. Literature Academy 1 month is $50. And the pop-up Facebook group, is $500. So it's about $1,000. So $1,000 worth of bonuses that I'm adding on to that you don't have to pay for, because I'm wanting, like I said, for myself, I know that I work best in community, and I don't want to navigate the fundamentals of investing and beyond, because I plan to do whatever's next that Terry offers to me. Like, I don't want to do it by myself. That I know that I need a group of people around me. And so I'm cultivating my group. And if I got to bribe y'all saying, do it with me, this is my do it with me. If you want the bonuses that I'm creating, if you go to Budgetnista stock bonuses, I'm going to have Imani put it in it's a stock bonus. Yeah, I'm going to have her put it in the what's her name? The show notes, but Budgetnista stock bonuses. And you'll see all the bonuses listed. And so if you want those bonuses, you sign up for Terry's class there. And when you do that, I'm going to ask for your name and your email, and I'll be able to see who signed up. And then on the day before class starts, the 14th of April, I will send you those bonuses digitally. And yeah, because honestly, like I said, I would love to have a group of like 100 people, because I know a bunch of people will sign up. already a few hundred people have already signed up, but I know when you really get down to the get down, if there could be like 100 women that I could be like in community with, like, all right, this is what we're doing this week. Because I just know that like investing is like a way to manage or grow wealth differently than I've been doing. Cause I feel like it's a little heavier lift, like a less heavier lift than like business. So certainly I've grown wealth through business, but I'm like, well, when I don't want to do business anymore, then what? And so for me, I really want to get down with the investment component. So I'm excited about that. So Budgetnista stock bonuses, 5-day masterclass, VIP if you want to upgrade. I'm going to give you additional bonuses because I'm trying to bribe y'all to do it alongside me. I don't want to do it by myself. And it starts next week. This is the last week. After this is what y'all always do. I was too late. You should have told me. I've been told y'all. You know, like that's it. I don't know what Terry's going to do after this, but I know it won't be this. So yeah, if you want to join, link is in the show notes. And we are back and even browner because we have Remy in the house.
Well, I don't know if he...
Topper.
A little bit of leche in our mocha chocolate lattes today.
con leche.
A little dulce de leche today. Mm-hmm. It's okay. Melanin challenge.
And now it's time to booster breaker, booster breaker, booster break. Mm-hmm. Are you gonna boost? Are you gonna break? What you gonna do? What you gonna take? La 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 la. Are you gonna boost or you gonna break, Mandra?
Hold on, I need to center myself to remember. You go.
Okay. I am going to boost. So I am part of a really mini mastermind of 2 older women. One is 10 years older, one is 20 years older. And they're both in the financial education space. Although we talk about that a little bit, it's more just wisdom. And I have to tell you, it's just the sage advice that they give me. We talk every first Thursday of the month and we kind of just like share like what's been happening. And they give the most just well thought out, kind, loving advice. And so it's just been so helpful. And I don't know if y'all not like in community with other like women, it's just really important. And so like, I just cannot speak highly enough of like, I have other groups of women, but just recently I had my talk with them and Sandra in particular from Sage Financial. She told me, she said, sweetheart, I want you to think of this. I want you to ask yourself, independent of family, friends, people you're working with, money, anything, what actually brings you joy? And so I want you have made enough money to actually craft the other things around that joy. Like, what do you enjoy doing? And so I've just been thinking about that a lot lately. And it's really going to shift the way I navigate business, because it has to, it has to. I watched, I was on Facebook the other day and Facebook had this, remember this 8 years ago. And it was a video of me. And so I listened to it. And in the video I said, hey, this is me, Tiffany. This is my first Facebook Live. I guess Facebook Live must have just came out. And I was talking, I was talking about overwork, overwhelm, and burnout 8 years ago.
Oh.
I said, geez. I'm like, oh, past Tiffany, I'm trying to do better. And I thought to myself, like, if I don't shift something, if I don't center something else, 8 years from now, I'm still going to be talking about the same thing. And I thought that making more money would ease it up some, and it hasn't. And so, yeah, I just want to boost having like wise, sage advice and actually taking it. And so thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Lynette. You guys are awesome.
Oh, Lynette.
Mm-hmm.
Fairy godmother. Okay, I remembered. So yesterday was my 7-year wedding anniversary with husband.
Congratulations.
Oh,
Divine year.
We were the old married couple who like got to the restaurant right at 11:02 because it opened at 11 for the brunch, and we had the whole place to ourselves. But then I took him to see a movie, and I'm just gonna do a break for I'm going to do a boosting break. I thought Dev Patel, like, I know him from Slumdog Millionaire. And like, anyway, he's kind of like one of my celebrity crushes. And so he has a new movie out called Monkey Man. And I was like, he's directing it himself. He's starring in it. I'm like, let's go see this Dev Patel movie. Enrique wanted to see the Godzilla thing. And I was like, I don't want to see Godzilla on our anniversary. Like, that's not going to be what. Oh, I should have read the synopsis for Monkey Man. It was the most violent, bloody. I spent like half of it with my hands in my face.
Oh,
stop it! You stop it! You're telling Dirty Tiffany about the bad movie that Mama saw. I did it to myself.
Did Enrique like it? Was he like, meanwhile?
He liked it. He was laughing, and I'm like, but at what? He just cut a lady's thumb off. Like, Jesus. But, you know, all kudos to Dev Patel for directing and starring in his own film. It's basically John Wick, but set in India, and it was like beautifully shot and all of that. And it was kind of about motherhood, but a lot of blood. So boost for his first film. Go check it out. I feel like we got to support anytime someone's making their own art. But also a break for the ladies who accidentally got tricked yourselves into thinking it was going to be a Dev Patel thirst trap film, and it was not. And that's all. And Remy Roo, your first episode of Brown Ambition is over. Did you do it? Don't smile at me. You little. Yeah, go ahead and grab it. Take it.
All right, y'all. Well, until Friday, we have our BAQA. We will see you then. Oh, wait. If you have not left us a review, please do. And we will read them next week because we're a little bit busy right now. But yeah, please leave us a review and join us on Friday. And we will see you later. Bye. Bye, Remy.